It's been playing longer than 10 seconds.
He only pressed live now.
Yeah, exactly. It still counts.
Pay
It still counts.
attention.
Still counts.
Pay attention. Hello, welcome to Marvel's Infinity Watch with the best superhero live show that we have on the hashtag show. Don't you guys agree?
I mean, the View show.
It's the only reason I'm here right now.
I don't know what goes on Thursdays.
Only reason I'm here is to defend DC, but I will also say how great Marvel is. But yeah, whatever you guys want to talk trash.
Well, that show has a spot open.
Oh, really?
So
really?
If you wanna...
that show has a spot open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome. Last week we could not air our show because we were at LA Comic-Con.
Which sucked, by the way.
I mean, gosh, relax.
What are you talking about?
You think LA Comic-Con was good?
It didn't suck.
It was terrible.
I've been to worse cons.
I'm going to be honest. All con floors are like
for
you said,
a con of that size that have Dwayne Johnson there was terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was pretty good because everybody got to. If people wanted to see him, they were able to actually see him.
No, he means like it should have been better because they had someone like Dwayne Johnson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. What can you do? What do you feel was missing?
What do I feel was missing?
Yeah.
More guests. It was you got to pay for a swap meet and
well,
Dwayne Johnson for an hour.
That's pretty much almost
Saturday.
what it is. That's what it is for all cons.
That's not true because all cons have either better panel lineups, like the panel lineups here weren't very strong. If I had to rank this, it was not my favorite of the year. It's not the best way to go out in con season. Just being real with you.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Hashtag realest guy in the room.
But there's BlizzCon going on.
BlizzCon's if you like partying.
If you like to party,
you know where I'll be tonight.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But so all right, so we're not caught up on the Inhumans. Let's just get that right out of the way. We will cover the season finale. Maybe do a series wrap up next week.
Yeah.
On that, but
we're not gonna do that.
Yes, we are.
No.
But what we would love to do,
we're gonna do what I want to talk about because that's what gets the ratings.
No.
So number one, first thing before we even start doing that is that THS hashtaggers is the group we have. You can join. Yes. That keeps the conversation going when we're not live. You can get your latest news there. That is THS hashtaggers. I will put a link
on our Facebook.
Yes, it is on Facebook. I will put a link in there now. And there you go. And then we have a TeePublic store. So if you want to get all your geeky apparel so you can be prepared for good conventions, not unlike LA Comic Con. If you want to go to good conventions, you can wear cool shirts there. You can check out that link. And we have the Super Chat feature, which is that S that supports the show. Hit us with that Super Chat feature. That helps support the show. And it leaves your comment up there longer so we could actually watch it.
Because the conversation goes fast. Unfortunately, we're not always able to see every bit of what you guys are saying. So if you use that super chat, we actually will. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's the agenda? Just Thor?
What's the haps?
Well, there's a lot going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. There is Ben Mendelsohn was cast as the villain in Captain Marvel. We don't know what that role is. It's speculative, but we do have some inside information. We're not going to release it right now,
okay.
So you can stay tuned next week. But if you had to guess on who that character could be, who do you think it is?
This is a problem for me, unfortunately. I'm not too familiar when it comes to, I guess, that pocket of the cosmos in Marvel. I'm really not. So I don't know exactly who would be like, a good villain to choose from. Do you?
No.
And now, Joe, hopefully you have some ideas?
I do, but I can't.
That's what I was wondering. That's why I said some, so maybe you could throw out some.
There's a few names that people have been speculating, but we have an inside track on who we think it is. There's a couple of names that are being tossed around. Jan Rog is one of them, who, if you're not familiar with that character, do a little bit of research on Captain Marvel. He's the one that gave Captain Marvel her powers. And he is a rival. He's a rival of hers, per se. And then there's Titanus, who's a Skrull, a super Skrull.
Okay, yeah.
So there's possibly that. And also, if it is Titanus, though, that would tie into the X-Men cinematic universe. So there is some correlation that could be going on there.
Which, if it does, they'll correct that mistake real fast.
Yep.
Yes. Well, no, I don't think so. I actually think that... Personally, I think that there's going to be a shared universe very soon.
All right, we'll see.
Are we thinking that finally there will be a moment where Marvel is completely shared all the way around?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man, Sony right now. Only thing that's not yet is Fantastic Four.
Well, I mean, that would be under the Fox
It's
banner.
Fox.
Yeah,
Fox
true.
is the only one doing the pushback.
Right,
They
but I mean,
want
if
to
we're
just
getting, if we're
solely
gonna,
own these properties, which is why Marvel always comes back and says, well, we're ripping down the comic runs for this or
Yep.
the toys for that,
yeah, Disney doesn't play around. The mouse is not one to be played with.
I do think it's going to be a matter of time until all those properties go back. Or not go back, but at least get a shared universe. It's only beneficial to everybody.
Everyone involved. I mean, it was great when Sony finally said, yeah, hey, we do need your help. And when they did get it, I mean, we got something that was beautiful. I loved
I'm
it.
sure they regret not putting in a renewal clause.
Oh, that's
Way
true.
back when. You can renew up to 2 or 3 times only.
Oh,
So
man.
those are those are a couple
Traposada.
names going on right now about Ben Mendelsohn and his role in Captain Marvel. We also
Why do you, sorry. Is Captain Marvel going to be in Infinity War?
it's not confirmed, but there's been rumors that she's been spotted on the set of Infinity War. They did confirm that she will be in the second part of Avengers 4, which is untitled at the moment.
But that's the same year her film comes out.
Correct.
Which I'm wondering.
But her film is a period piece. It's 1990s.
But I'm wondering why a character that they announced with an actress a year or two ago is not getting much marketing ahead of her own film. Like,
Maybe
they're not
I
including
mean
her.
because that movie doesn't. 2019 is a far time away.
Exactly. So why pump up the audience with Brie Larson and
Because I
everything
feel
a
that
year or two back?
because they're shooting the Avengers movies back to back, and you're going to need that casting announcement anyway. Because let's be real, they're gonna, regardless if it was for Infinity War or not Infinity War, they're still gonna have to film with her. So there's that. Also, switching gears a little bit, Venom just started shooting. So Tom Hardy's hard at work on Venom. They did say that his Venom's going to be
finally real.
CG. So they're doing a lot of stuff with Andy
CG or
Serkis's
motion
capture.
Okay, yeah.
It's a
So they're doing a
little
lot of
different.
stuff with Andy Serkis.
Wait, is that like a joke or?
Well, I mean,
No,
he
dead
runs,
serious.
he runs one of
They're
the
doing
best,
it through his
yeah.
company.
Oh, his company.
Yeah,
Okay.
he runs the best
I don't know. I
company
thought
for
you
it.
meant like Andy Serkis was playing Venom.
No. He's
Or he was like the other half.
they're doing some training with Andy Serkis.
Just take some clips from him as a monkey. He's like, yeah, there you go. Action. It's great.
Is that a monkey? He's an ape.
Whatever.
Different thing.
Whatever.
God.
Yeah, no
So
tail.
that is some of the bigger stories going on when it comes to Marvel.
Dolph
there's more,
Dolph
though.
Lundgren's Punishers in Infinity War.
What?
I want to see that movie. I need. Where
Mike
can I
Merchant.
see the '90s Punisher film with Dolph Lundgren?
Pretty. Oh, Lawrence
Oh my
Fishburne's
God.
working on a top secret Marvel project.
Really?
We don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is, but we do know that he's working on a top secret Marvel project. Also, we had our first photos of Michelle Pfeiffer on set of Ant-Man and the Wasp, playing Jan Van Dien.
Wow.
Love
There's a lot
Michelle
coming out.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, right?
And we also now
Vegas
know
Mines.
the actresses that were in the pitch to Kevin Feige for the all-female led superhero movie.
This is something that I am very interested in.
Those actresses were Scarlett Johansson, Zoe Saldana, and the lovely Tessa Thompson. And Brie Larson, I believe, was a part of that as well. So this female superhero movie, I'm really excited about if it ever were to come to fruition. But will it?
Number one, I don't think so. And number two, if it does happen, they really need to get somebody who knows how to write female characters.
Like Joss Whedon?
No, Joss is too.
knew she was gonna say
it's
no.
too tainted now. They
Okay.
would never. They're not. He's probably not even gonna get Batgirl at this point. Let's be real. I don't.
He'll
think,
get Batgirl.
Jeez.
I don't know. It's been really quiet on that front since his whole scandal.
He'll
came
get
out.
Batgirl. I don't think the scandal has... listen,
Obviously,
Justice
it's not as
League...
big as going.
Justice League is
like,
going to
a Harvey
turn
Weinstein
all of
one.
that around. I think Justice...
You think so?
Yeah, for sure I think so. You mean, you think about it, I think Justice League is going to put him back in a positive light. And fans are so fickle that forget about all the personal stuff that he was going through. People are just going to attach to that.
I can see that. Some people... so geek fans are...
People love a redemption story.
Okay.
And that's what that's going to be.
I don't know. I'm like... Are fanboys, fangirls that like kind of accepting like, oh, you gave me something good. Don't worry about what you did. Like that?
What?
Are you thinking that's how fans are?
No, but I think that listen, regardless of somebody's personal life, I feel that like their work should speak for themselves. Like
But there's
So you
been,
like Kanye?
people who
Yeah,
are
I don't
proven
have a
like some
problem
of
with
his
Kanye.
work.
I'm just because that's the thing.
It's
where
also
everybody says-
misogynistic. Like a lot of his other work. Like, look at this scene or that scene. People have been really nitpicking.
I
about
see,
his
but
to
shows.
say
that's
that
the whole
he's
thing.
misogynistic is I don't know about that. I mean, if we're gonna go on misogyny in Hollywood, I mean, look, that's every director.
Yeah, but we're just talking
Steven
about one
Spielberg.
person who is already tied to a DC film. That's what we're focusing on right now, not
Okay.
the other people.
I
Who've been
disagree. I
accused.
See,
don't-
but that's not fair because it's like
Because if
now
you really think
nit-
about the Avengers, the main character of the whole driving force of that movie is Black Widow.
Are you kidding me? Did you not know Age of Ultron and the whole thing about that?
What about it?
Her agency, the fact that she's a monster because she can't have children, that whole thing. Were you asleep?
No,
during that
I don't
whole
think. See,
conversation?
that's such a minor part of the movie, though.
It's
If
not
you
minor
think
to
about
women,
if you think
though.
about the first Avengers movie, the one that saves the day and stops everything is Black Widow.
Yeah,
She is the
he made a
driving
whole
force of that
series
movie.
with a female lead who stops everything. That sometimes something like that can mask other smaller issues. And I think Joss Whedon does do a lot.
I
Like,
mean-
hey, I was the geek, and I sucked in high school, so I'm gonna get back all the pretty girls. Like Cordelia in Buffy and Angel, her character got slammed after the actress got pregnant, and that is proven behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. You can see what happens to her character. But all I'm saying is, I don't know if DC is going to keep him on the slate.
I
But maybe you're
100%
right
think they will.
that if Justice League does succeed, maybe they will.
He's a name. He's a name that people are going to turn out to see, and Justice League is going to prove that. And here's another thing: how they're supposed to win that audience back is the central character is Wonder Woman. So I think that this is going to be. I personally think people are going to tune in to watch Joss Whedon do
Also,
what he
his
does.
original Wonder Woman script. Did you read that?
Yeah, I did, but I mean, I did, but that was also.
How old
That
is that
wasn't-
though? But how old was it?
That did not read to me like Joss Whedon. I was shocked when I read that.
Yeah, it was very misogynistic, but it was also a different. He was writing for
Don't
the
say
times
it was a
of.
different time. The late 90s?
No,
the early
he was
2000s?
writing for a different
No, but
time
he was
period.
writing, yeah.
Is what I'm saying. It wasn't like he was writing
the
for progressive.
descriptions are not based on a time period. Those weren't.
Yeah,
It wasn't
the
straight dialogue.
The descriptions.
What
literally
about what
takes
Patty
place-
Jenkins just did? She was writing for the same time period.
Agreed. But we now in filmmaking, we're in a completely different period than we were 10 years ago. Listen, when the Marvel Cinematic Universe came out, there weren't a ton of people being like, "Hey, let's get our Captain Marvel movie now." Not even a Black Widow movie. That was on the back burner, but behind Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and the Hulk. Like that was. I don't remember really recalling anybody being like, "Hey, where's our?" There was no outcry for the fan base for that.
It's true. Not until
I mean, I'm sure that there were people
No,
out there
well-
that were doing that, but it wasn't as prominent as it would be now.
You can also say the comic industry is pretty misogynistic.
Of course
as well.
it is.
Oh, that's a
because
given.
it's marketed. It's also marketed towards young boys.
Yeah, which is the funny thing about it.
because you'd be shocked at how many women are actually purchasing comics. Yeah,
But that's
and
it.
something that
That's
they say all the time.
historically. I mean, that's like saying
Video games.
historically, though,
it's
that
always
was the
true,
fan
though.
base. That's like saying when you're getting into a sport, cheerleading is for like that's the way that the fan base or that kind of grew. Like it wasn't because of something else. I don't think that one thing leads to the other. I think that just happens to be historically the way things are. Yes, things are changing and they're being progressive now, but I don't necessarily think that that then it wasn't like when in 1932 when they made Superman. I doubt that like little girls were in the minds of them creating that character.
No, of course
Not
not.
at all.
30,
But
not
we
32,
evolved
38.
in the last 10, 15 years, which is how long the MCU has been pretty much running.
I wouldn't say we've evolved in the last. We've
Well, at least
evolved
the
in the last
fan
like
base
5 years.
has
Yes,
expanded out of the demographic of 13 to 18-year-old boys.
because we can even go as far to say is that the X-Men weren't progressive because even though Storm is a strong female leader and character, she was a background character in every movie.
yeah, film-wise, but comics-wise, they were pretty much ahead of the game.
Sure, but I'm talking about the films. Like she was a backseat role.
But Bryan Singer can't write for females.
Bryan Singer didn't write any of those movies.
He just directed.
He just directed those movies.
Really?
The first writers of those movies, I
Was it
believe.
Simon Kimber?
No, he wrote he wrote the newer ones. The first writers of those movies were the dudes that wrote Superman Returns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which
Michael-
that character sucked too.
He did suck.
Yeah, of
but-
course he did.
But I'm just saying that those are Bryan Singer didn't write any of those movies.
Well, he can't direct for females. Whatever. He gets a lot more.
Yeah, he did Usual Suspects. That's what he wrote.
But yeah, so I don't know.
Regardless of that, though, I think that people are going to tune in to see what Joss Whedon does.
Oh, of course.
Oh, I think no matter what, yes.
And it
people
doesn't
are.
have anything
People
to do
are.
with Joss Whedon. It's just like is this
'Cause it's
Justice League movie going to be good?
I do
Can
think it
this
has
be
something to do with
saved?
Joss Whedon,
Well,
though.
we've heard it's supposed to be.
Because if realistically, if they were to tell you, hey, you got the director of the Avengers or you got Michael Bay, who are you gonna?
But if it was Zack Snyder or Joss Whedon, nobody would care.
I
no
do-
one would
I do
care
think
if
they
people
would
were
care.
For an
still
all-female-
Zack Snyder.
for an all-female-
No, we're talking
oh,
about
okay.
Justice League.
I disagree.
If it was still Zack Snyder, he'd still get the same audience.
I disagree, 100%. I definitely think it's more palpable when Zack Snyder left a bad taste in the mouths of superhero fans everywhere.
But you guys have been saying that since like what, Watchmen or Sucker
No, I
Punch,
liked
and
Watchmen.
people still keep
No,
coming
but I felt
and seeing
people
these
say.
films.
I felt people did say that.
They just
concerning
complain and they
Watchmen,
let it
Sucker
go.
Punch.
I disagree.
But I was always, I don't know, I'm a sympathizer or an apologist for Snyder. I'm a Zack Snyder apologist. I like his films, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, okay, well, 300, I guess it was good when it came out, and so was Watchmen when it came out." Then after that, they're like, "Well, Sucker Punch was horrible, and everything else was horrible." I don't even mention Immortals because that was bad, but. Like people
Watchmen
just
is
keep
good
saying,
to people now, but when it first came out, people were trashing it.
yeah, exactly. And I feel that ultimately, when time has run its course, I feel people will actually change their tune about Batman v Superman. Or at least I hope so.
That's what I said.
Oh yeah.
That's what I said.
Isn't the
That's what I've been
director's cut
saying.
Way
Oh, okay.
better than the
I'm just-
theatrical cut.
Yeah, but that's a problem, and this is something that Joe said. He's beat me over the head with it now. I know it's
Sure.
true. No, I know it's true, but there's something to be said when you have to say, to defend a film, oh, hey, yeah, but the director's cut is, well, really? If it was that good, then it should have been that way in the theater on its own.
Let's rein it
He
back
said
in.
that
This
the
is a
shirt.
Marvel show, though.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so
but
for the
Marvel's a lot
all-female-
different. I think that Marvel, realistically, either chooses A-list or not A-list, up-and-coming directors that are very good, or directors they can completely control.
I think Ryan Coogler can do the all-female
Well, so here's a question:
Marvel film.
Why do we think?
Or Ava. Get
Why do
Ava
we
back.
think it took Marvel?
I don't
so
think
long?
Ava's going to do a Marvel film.
No.
I don't think she's gonna do a superhero film.
Why did it take?
She was
Marvel
going to do
so
Black
long
Panther.
For what?
to actually get something focused on a female.
For Marvel?
Yeah, like, is it because we didn't have enough?
You got to understand one thing about Marvel is realistically, can you name me 5 Avengers that are female? Just 5.
No, that's one time she was, but I don't know.
Go ahead. No, just
Okay,
go ahead. Name them.
All right, Storm, Black Widow, then
Storm's not actually an Avenger, but fair enough.
Yes, she
She was at the same
was.
time Beast was.
No, she wasn't.
Was it before? or
I
after?
She was in there
Was it
though
before or
at
after?
some point.
She wasn't. Rogue was, but
Well,
Storm
okay, then
wasn't.
fine.
Storm was.
She-Hulk. You
Rogue
know,
was in there.
I mean, do you want me to do She-Hulk, Black Widow? I can do Wasp. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah,
that a
yeah.
mutant?
Exactly.
No, but I'm talking about like. So was it because of what they had available?
No,
And
it's
they were like, we
because
can't
it's
do
because
anything with it?
it's because Marvel in the 60s, 70s
Mm-hmm.
did, and Migdalia's right on this point, is that they did a poor job of building strong female characters.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look at the lexicon of Marvel superheroes right now, you're getting more of them like Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a character that was invented in like I think the early 2000s. So yeah,
Oh.
it was Brian Michael Bendis, but you're not getting like you don't have these really strong female characters technically in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So you're having to build them now. So Captain Marvel has always been. She was in the 80s or whatever. But that was when she was Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Carol Danvers, but now you were getting Captain Marvel. I think the X-Men have had always the strongest female characters.
Yeah, that's very
If they
true.
were going to do an
Except in the
all-female movie, they should do an all-female X-Men movie.
No.
Psylocke, Storm,
Because they
Rogue.
can't get them right cinematically. They are the most terribly written characters.
I think that that's why you got to bring
Wait,
somebody new in and do
As far
it.
as X-Men?
Yeah.
What about First Class? You didn't like it?
No, the women characters.
Oh,
Laura,
okay, all right.
Raven, Storm, Rogue.
But Raven sucks though.
Oh, yeah.
Most of that has to do with the writing.
Yeah, because people
And the
they're
development.
pandering. I feel like that there's a huge difference. If they did a straight up X-Men movie with female characters with a good writer, that would be a huge Storm, Jubilee,
Emma
Rogue,
Frost?
Psylocke. Yeah, Emma
She's
Frost.
an Omega level mutant getting
Yeah, that's
drinks
true.
for Kevin Bacon. Come on, man.
I think
I like
historically
Matthew Vaughn, but come on.
in Marvel comics, the stronger female characters have been on the X-Men side.
Okay.
They haven't necessarily been on the Avengers side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So when you talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, when you're initially pitching your first line of comics or your first line of movies,
Yeah,
it's
you're
very
not gonna-
difficult to be like, hey, let's do this one.
But I mean, I understand it's very difficult, but everything kept pointing to, well, Black Widow, Black Widow, Black Widow. She's here already. She's established.
It's not saying we won't get a Black Widow movie. I don't think...
So my question, once again, is why did it take so long when we at least had one that we could have done it
I mean,
with?
Joe and I got into this. Yeah,
already.
we got
okay.
into this.
All right, fine.
So we won't, get into it again for the audience. But basically,
No
we kind of think the ship has sailed on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And... I don't know. It was just, due to Elektra, they think female films aren't marketable, and say, well, look at Elektra. That was a movie that came out.
Look at Daredevil. I mean, God.
10 years ago on Fox's end. So.
All right, let's talk about Thor Ragnarok. Let's get into that. First of all,
can I do it?
Do it.
You look like you're having a seizure.
Well, that's what I am. I feel it's so good that my body can't hold it. It's like
you gotta do it, Wendy Williams.
Oh God,
that was the best video on the internet. I wish that was awesome. That was so cool. I watched it 700 times.
That's because it was so unbelievable.
Because it's fucking hilarious.
Wait,
that's not
Wendy
hilarious.
Williams faints on air. She's like,
oh, what you
I shouldn't make. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just doing it was great.
It was great.
You need Dave.
It was a meme. So it's.
Are we gonna take this beat by beat, act by
fuck
act?
That. So what we'll do is we're just gonna talk. Did you guys like the movie number 1?
Of course.
Yes.
This is in my top 5.
What do you think about?
Really?
What do you think about the?
Maybe top 10.
It's not so much controversy, but what do you think about the outcry that? Because there's a lot of complaints that Thor shouldn't have been a comedy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I saw that. It's stupid.
I agree.
Oh, you agree with it?
No, I agree that it's dumb. Yeah, it's stupid.
I feel that without that comedy, the movie. Well, okay, you know what? Without that comedy, we would have had Thor Part 2. There you go. That's exactly what happened. You saw Thor, the Dark World. That movie was horrible, and the first one not that good either, guys. So I'm.
Oh yeah, we're gonna spoil the movie.
Stop. Yeah,
we're gonna spoil the movie.
Guys,
so if you haven't seen, you should log off now.
Yeah.
So that's
sorry.
why I'm like, thank you for giving us, something that was funny. I mean, and if you guys didn't know it was funny, you can see in the trailer. I mean, they're pushing it that way. So it's like it was great.
So I talked to Taika Waititi last week in his office, and he told me that this song, the immigrant song that Led Zeppelin did, that was in his pitch, not his pitch, but his little spec thing that he put together for Marvel. That was his.
Twizzlers?
That was his initial pitch. That was pretty lame. That was
Sour Patch.
Sour Patch.
Aw,
are you surprised they played that movie twice? I mean, that song twice in the movie?
Well, that was their theme. I mean, thematically, that was their theme. So he said that was going to be their. That was in there from the beginning, and I guess Kevin Feige told me this, that he said that there was a bunch of other songs that were in that pitch, but they couldn't clear all of them.
Oh, really?
So they just chose to clear the one and put all their money behind that. Sizzle reel, yeah.
But that's interesting though. So they chose Immigrant Song, even though Wonder Woman, how they already had a Immigrant Song theme.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. If you actually on the extras and everything, they talk about it. They were like, that's what they wanted. They had the theme. That's why it literally has the same chords and count. That's why it's there.
Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I'm saying that's what they said. And I'm like, why? So with that being the case, it was done a whole lot better in Thor. It was done. Really? You don't think it was?
Yeah,
the actual Immigrant Song was in Thor.
That goes better with Thor than it does Wonder Woman.
Yeah, instead of this interpolation that they did for it. I mean, just saying. From the song.
I don't know. I don't know about that because I think Because I think in Wonder Woman's it's.
Well, Wonder Woman's it's the call of arms.
But it also fits that character because it doesn't. It's not the immigrant song, and it does sound kind of.
It's just an interpolation.
Like Amazonian warrior-ish.
Yeah.
For me, like ancient warrior, like ancient Greece, kind of like.
It sounds like a battle cry. It sounds like something that you hear that and you're like, oh,
we probably
somebody's
shouldn't
getting
eat these on air because we sound like shit.
That's true.
Do we sound like?
Yeah, we do.
It's like,
But
so I think Thor was. I think Thor was good. I think it was really good actually, and I think Jeff Goldblum steals every scene that he's in.
oh my goodness.
He's pretty much just Jeff Goldblum in space.
yes.
My favorite interactions are always between Thor and Loki. He's like, I'm not doing the get help thing.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Have you seen that meme? I was telling Daniel this last night. That meme of Loki where it's like, I did not kill him. I did not. Oh, hi, Thor.
Oh, hi, Thor.
That was hilarious when Thor came back. He was watching the play. I did not expect to see Matt Damon.
I knew that he was gonna be.
Oh my god!
And Odin was Sam Neill.
Was it?
Yeah.
I was like, the other guy has to be someone too.
I thought
No.
Thor was, because there was a rumor that John Cena was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he wasn't, or at least if he was cut
Or
out.
maybe
but,
they cut it out, yeah.
I would have been like, oh yeah, I could totally see John Cena as like the fake Thor.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have
Yeah.
made sense.
Oh,
But that movie was great.
Thor was good on so many levels. Like, really, the film was something that was like.
Oh yeah, I guess
Congratulations.
so the fake Thor was Luke Hemsworth, his other brother.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was like,
Which is cool.
I would have recognized Sam Neill.
Also, the Easter eggs. Did you notice the Easter eggs on the wall at the Champions?
No.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I talked to the special effects supervisor. 3, if you didn't notice. Number 1 is Beta Ray Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Man Thing is the other one, and the other one. There's one more. What was the other one? Oh man, there was one more. I forgot his name. I lost it. Forgot his name, but it'll come back to me.
Well, the whole Beta Ray Bill thing is just like, okay, everyone's asking for a moment with Beta Ray Bill, which is kind of weird, because I remember growing up, everyone would look like, well, who's the knockoff Thor? Like, who wants a dead horse Thor? Like, that's pretty much what you're seeing. Now, everyone is like, can we just see him?
Well,
can we just see
I
him?
think
Can we
Carlos is
just see
watching
him?
us on mute.
I think Beta
Wow.
Ray Bill is going to
There's
have a
probably a
prominent
making fun of
role
me. I
in the
can't read
MCU, but I don't think it'll be until the next Guardians movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think that they're going to go with Beta Ray Bill as one of the next Guardians.
Oh.
That's at least my guess.
What are
go
your
for
other
that.
highlights?
What were the other highlights? I love.
My eye issues.
Well, there's a couple things that happened in the movie that are kind of telegraphed. When I saw it for the second time, you could totally see what they're. So when when Odin's talking to Thor and Loki, and he's kind of like, they're in like, I think they're in Norway, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, this is a great place. Like, you could tell, like, when they're leaving to Earth at the end of the movie, that I have a feeling they were gonna try to end up there, because that's where Odin was like, this would be a great place. And I think that's the
Oh yeah, because they said we're going to Earth. So
right.
where
And
would
when
they
he's
go?
like, Asgard isn't a place, it's a people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was setting up for them to go there, and I also think that plays a little bit into the J. Michael Straczynski run, where Asgard ends up on Earth, and
yeah.
I believe it's in like, I want to say it's in like Nashville or somewhere, or Oklahoma. Ares, Man Thing, Bybeast was it. Bybeast was the other one.
Okay. So then they're pretty much just gonna hide it like how the Inhumans are hiding on the moon.
Well,
or just like literally there, like, oh, it's.
If anybody has seen the movie, then you'd know that I don't think they make it to Earth.
Yeah.
So
But I'm just like.
Yeah, what was that big ship? I wasn't getting it.
Oh, so-
was that Chris Pratt's ship?
no. Actually, I wrote an article about that on our website.
Oh my god, I didn't get to look at it this morning.
No, I wrote it. Hold on, let me see. I'll find
Very
it.
busy.
What was I gonna ask next? Oh, I have no idea. It fell out of my head.
The ship is called.
Man, what was I gonna ask?
Kevin Feige confirmed the name of the ship, and it is called the. Let's see. It's called the Sanctuary 2.
Ooh.
So anybody that's familiar with this ship, the Sanctuary 2 is Thanos' ship. You might ask, what is the Sanctuary 1? Well, that was in the asteroid field when the Chitauri attacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was that giant ship that was coming in at the end there. And anybody, have you guys seen the Infinity War trailer?
Yeah.
No.
So
Oh, no?
No.
in the Infinity War
Where did you
trailer,
see that?
well, I saw it at D23.
I don't know.
Online.
You saw the crappy version. Okay.
Still was there.
So in the Infinity War trailer, there is Thor with 2 eyes
2 eyes and a short haircut.
and a short haircut.
Yeah. So
I
it was
short
like.
haircut Thor.
That was kind of weird. 'Cause
What, his
now,
short
now you
haircut?
think about it, no, 2 eyes and a haircut.
I mean, there may be some alien groom and eyeball. It's not that weird. It's like,
Well, there's a couple theories going around here.
There's a man made out of rocks or something.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a
Theory
point.
number one
It's a tree man.
is that they take all of Asgardians prisoners, and Thor gets away, and he ends up, but he must get healed on Thanos' ship somehow.
Or Rocket stole him and I.
Oh,
And so
that's
it is
right.
surgery. Doctor
He
Strange did
wouldn't
some
have.
surgery.
He couldn't have done that mainly because Rocket sees him with 2 eyes and he lands on the ship.
When he hits it, yeah. That's right.
No, it's just chronological.
So there's a possibility that Loki could have possibly done some magic to give him an eye back. There's also the possibility that that's a scroll. So we could have a few different
shoot.
things here.
What?
That it could be
Possibility.
A scroll.
It's a possibility.
That's a good one. I
How
like that.
unrecognizable was Carl Urban? I was trying to look for him. I was like, oh my god, I think it's this big meatheady dude.
You didn't know that was Carl Urban?
No, dude.
Really?
I did not. What movie was he in before?
Dread?
Good.
No. Was
Star
the
Trek?
Yeah. No. What was the character? Was
Oh.
the character in the previous film?
No.
They kind of spoke to him like he was already established.
No, they did, but I don't. He wasn't obviously.
Okay.
You know what? The Warriors 3 also, like Zach Levi, to bring him back and have no lines, they just literally killed him off in
Really?
seconds. Yeah. But now he's gonna be Shazam. But
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Here you go.
He probably
They were
got
like,
cast
really?
and they were like, you need to edit him down.
so that was pretty crazy that they. But you know what? After watching that movie, you can completely see how Marvel's transitioning it like a whole new era of Thor.
Oh yeah,
And
thank God.
From what I was told, is that it's inspired Chris Hemsworth to want to come back and do another one. Whereas originally, not saying he will, by the way, I'm not saying he will. Just saying that that it's possible that he could now, instead of like him ending his run at Avengers 4.
Rhodes Scholar Comics makes a good point. I think his eye is still gone. They just did not CG it out because that trailer came out for a lot
That's
of
true.
people
That's
before
true.
Thor did.
It's possible.
Which they do sometimes.
and they don't
want to,
because they don't want to go ahead and ruin or give you any spoilers.
Well, I asked
so
the
that's
super
true.
special effects supervisor. So I don't know in the trailer if you guys noticed, but Thor gets his hammer broken in an alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
They digitally had to change that because they thought that an alleyway was too busy, and what they did is they put it on that hilltop in Norway.
That's what I was just telling Dan.
So that's
I
why
was
it looks
like,
so
they changed
CG'd.
the
On the
scenery.
trailer,
They did.
yeah.
So he told me that the reason they did that though was because they thought an alleyway would be too busy with cars passing through and people being there and it being loud, that it was going to be too distracting. So they changed it. I think that obviously there's misdirections that happen in trailers, and I think that with Infinity War, that's one of them. I definitely think that they're going to CG the eye out and when we get there. If they don't, then we'll see what happens.
So it's Marvel taking a hand at being like proactive by kind of, all right, here goes misdirection on our trailers. So this way, even if you have speculation
Well,
on
it's not
spoilers.
misdirection. It's just like they don't want to spoil it.
Well, yeah. So this way, it's like, okay, everybody will have this idea of a spoiler, and you're like, sorry, you were all wrong.
When I saw, because you got to think, I saw the Infinity War trailer back in May or something, right?
Yeah.
So Thor wasn't even out then.
No, it
And-
came out last week. We'll have to see what happens when it's publicly released.
That's true.
Which we're hearing is supposed to be right around. It should be pretty soon.
Yeah,
It's next year. I'm surprised that they didn't attach it to Thor.
that's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, listen, they
What
already-
else do they
Like,
have coming
there.
out?
Yeah.
Nothing. That's it for this year.
Well, no, they have Black Panther next.
But that's February.
yeah.
The film comes out in May.
May.
We need the first trailer out right now.
Yeah.
I think we'll get it soon. I think we'll get it pretty soon, but I don't think it'll. But I think that they have to build up to a few more things before they get there. Because one thing that was lacking in this movie that a lot of people speculated on was what gem were we missing? The soul gem.
No, isn't
I'm
it the
sorry.
reality
The
gem?
reality
Yeah.
gem. No, I think it isn't the soul gem.
No,
Soul
I think
Gem
it's
is,
the reality.
That's the
gem.
mind gem.
Yeah.
It's the soul
Doesn't
gem.
Vision? I don't know. Vision.
That's the mind gem.
It's the mind gem.
I think it's the soul gem. So I now am pretty good under the impression that gem's going to appear in Black Panther, mainly because Black Panther has this part of his world where he can communicate with the dead. So I think that's going to be a part of this. I think it's going to be a bigger thing here.
Souls.
Many people were surprised there was no soul gem.
It's kind of funny. Black Panther is going to be the one with the soul gem.
Why? Because black people don't have souls.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like
Oh.
soul train,
Soul food?
Yeah, pretty much,
And this is where this show goes with this guy here. So yeah, the soul gem is definitely the one that wasn't accounted for. They do immediately reference the gauntlet, though, the fake gauntlet that
Yeah.
Odin had.
Okay, all right.
It's like, fake.
But
I
I-
loved Kate Blanchett.
She's great.
Oh, man. She totally owned that role. She
You
was
didn't like the
having so much
CG
fun.
though, right?
I did not like the CG in that fight she had with all of the Asgardian soldiers.
okay.
Sometimes they get too into doing these mega huge epic fights that they have to use CG on, and it's just it looks ridiculous because they look kind of rubbery and
how they move and everything.
Yeah.
It's like
it's not natural.
Who was your favorite character in the film?
Ooh.
Because me, I loved Valkyrie. Tessa Thompson was great.
Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I love the Hulk and Thor.
Dang it! I was going to say somebody else. I was like, wait,
oh my God.
I could be like Thor.
So we interviewed Tessa Thompson at what was it, Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Idiot Josh didn't hit the record button. It was the worst. But she gave us a great. I have the audio. She gave us a great quote about how her character would be worthy to pick up the hammer. Mm-hmm. So. We'll only wait and see. But, Migdalia, you just today interviewed Idris Elba. We can't really release what he said.
I did.
But,
sorry.
Yes or no, does he talk about Thor?
He did. He talked about Thor. He talked about fan speculation. That's all I can say.
So that'll be coming out soon, so you can check that out.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else about this movie did you like or not like?
No, I just really love the Hulk.
It's great to finally find a vehicle for the Hulk that
more three-dimensional.
Yes,
I like how they get
Oh.
into an argument, and it's just like
You're stupid.
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, he got all upset. Like, we do call you the stupid Avenger.
Yeah, right.
That's great. That's hilarious.
Oh my God!
Nobody likes you on Earth. It was so third grade.
He was so hurt though.
Yeah, it was. Everyone in the theater was like, "Oh."
Oh my God! But we do call you the stupid Avenger.
Well, even Mark Ruffalo, like you could tell that he was like, we can call ourselves the Avengers. You want revenge, right? And he's like, I'm undecided.
Yeah.
He's just like,
I loved it because it was like, okay, you know what? This is possibly the most, like you said, most three-dimensional interpretation of the Hulk that we've had in a while, and we didn't have to worry. Yeah, and we didn't have to worry about like going with an origin. We didn't have to worry about. It was like, look, you already know what's going on. Let's continue and just tell you a story. Mm-hmm. And it was like, great. This is better than any Hulk film we've had. And I love the Ed Norton one, but this is better than any Hulk film we've ever had because truth is, none of them were good. And this was just a really good one. And hey, it was a good Thor film. Buddy cops forever. Let's have them just continue on with that.
Great. This pairing thing that they do for Marvel is...
Well, did you hear about, so Infinity War, I guess they were saying, it was Josh Brolin that said this during the We Are the Brave junket.
Only the brave.
Only whatever.
The brave.
No, whatever. That's a sensitive story.
He said that the Marvel will probably never do something like Infinity War ever again.
Oh no, I could imagine.
It was so hard to get all their schedules lined up, and that's why they had to do them back to back.
That was a complaint with Days of Future Past too. They were like, "This is a logistical nightmare."
Yeah, I can imagine.
Everybody's in demand.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not Marvel, but there's 13 casters on the show. Yeah. We have never even been in the same room at the same time, so I can only imagine.
Yes.
Imagine how they have to handle it.
God.
What else? I was just gonna mention something else that I found. So do you think? And I do think this. Fuck, I can't say that.
What? Oh, you were gonna spoil something?
I just forgot something.
Now, what do you guys think about like
I
Thor? I can't say hulking out, but with the thunder thing that it happened twice. I would have preferred that happened just at the end.
I actually liked it. I liked that it happened the first time too because
it's like what they call Thor rage. It's the Thunder God rage. It was just like he had that level.
From at that point, like he didn't win the fight.
You know what? Yeah, that's true.
And it was kind of dumbed down.
I think they just needed to show you that he could do it. I think, and they needed that flashback element because that was kind of like a reoccurring thing.
For him to be able to do it without the hammer.
What do you think about Doctor Strange?
I forgot until you.
Till I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because he's so almost forgettable, right?
It was just. Why was it weird? Why did they go to Doctor Strange? Because he's so Loki,
right?
Oh,
because they needed to find Loki, and he was able to.
Do you think Loki takes the gem?
Loki is such a scumbag.
Does he take the gem? Because remember, he stops and he looks at it at the Tesseract.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he did. What was that about?
Well, I think he takes it. So here's my theory. Here's my theory. All right, here's my theory. I think he takes the gem, presents it to Thanos to save his own ass when that ship comes and he comes to get him, and Thanos kills him immediately.
No way. That's dark, dude.
That's where you think he's gone?
Because they need to establish Thanos as being a strong villain right off the bat.
That's
and
so
how do you do
dark.
that with killing the fan favorite villain?
So then after that, Thor will be far more enraged? Like, is that the whole thing?
Well, you haven't seen the trailer. So in the trailer of Infinity War, there is a scene where Thanos is palming Thor's head and like just squeezing. You hear like a crunch noise.
Ew.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
With the helmet? Or just
No,
his head?
it's just his head.
This is gonna be dark, I feel.
So let me ask you guys this. This is a question about Thor. Since Thor and Hulk work so well together, what other characters in the MCU would you like to see team up?
Ooh.
Because these buddy cop things do work really well.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh,
Because
that would be
we haven't
great.
seen a press junket with Sebastian
I
Stan
love
and
those
Anthony
They go
Mackie.
for it.
But
with
see,
each
here's the
other.
thing.
They're
missing
I
magic.
think I want the Falcon to be Captain America and his like Bucky be like his Bucky, and then just them just being like, yeah, I should have been Captain America the whole time.
That scene with them in the car still gets me.
Where he's like, can you move your seat?
Yeah.
He's like, nope.
Nope.
And then with Spider-Man,
Yeah,
I
right.
hate you.
Yeah, those guys. I would love the junket for those two. Must be so much fun.
Yeah.
No, but seeing those two, that's a good buddy cop one. I didn't have one. I didn't have another
Come on,
idea
think.
for one.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe,
Joe, you have
you
one?
Well, they did. They've already done. I do
I want
actually.
Migdalia and I to be a buddy cop.
I
That would be
think.
great.
I think a good one
First time
would be.
Oh my god.
would be Stark and Doctor Strange. The
No,
facial hair
Stark and
bros.
God.
Banner.
No, I
would
like
be
the
better.
facial
Stark
hair
and Doctor
bros.
Strange. Stark and Doctor, they're too much of the same character.
No, but they're not because one is like very like one is a straight up like by the book, and the other
Straight-laced.
one's like, let's just figure it out.
I mean, we'll have to see. I don't think they have that type of chemistry. I don't know.
I just want
'Cause
them.
Benedict
I just want
Cumberbatch is
Stark.
so tight.
But that's what I want. I want Robert Downey Jr. like facial hair bros, and he's like, and they do the high five. And he's like, I hate you.
hate
Like in the
you,
comic.
Oh no, I think because remember before he became Doctor Strange, he was pretty much like Tony Stark. Like I can do everything. I'm amazing.
But that was before he
blah.
changed. But Tony
Exactly.
Stark is still like Tony Stark.
That's
so
true. That's true.
That's the whole thing too.
man.
I would love to see those two team up. I think that would
Rich
be a lot
drunk
of fun.
uncle. You saw the honors trailer for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah. Well, that's another team up
uncle.
that we got. We got Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Kinda, ish.
Yeah, I
In
do.
one scene, ish.
Yeah, in one scene because yeah, one scene.
So
When
I
he gets
think
out of
I
the
think the
suit.
team up things do work. Yeah, I mean, there's such a vast array of characters you can kind of even. You know what would be fun too? Vision and Thor. Because they're both worthy to pick up the hammer,
Yeah,
and you can
that
just
was
see
funny.
like Thor
Or
being
back
like a
and forth,
jokester,
yeah,
and
right.
Vision being like, I don't understand.
I don't get this. Well, I mean, you can also see Gamora and the new girl from Thor. What's her name?
Tessa Thompson?
Valkyrie?
Yeah, I can see those two.
I love
because
Valkyrie.
those two would be like, my God.
Okay,
they're
here's
both
another
warriors,
question.
They just get into it.
Who should pick up Thor's hammer? Valkyrie or Heimdall? Heimdall.
Huh?
Yeah, right. She's like, oh, I already have my answer.
Because you would assume that like, because Marvel's done a really good job at straying away strictly from their source material.
Right.
Let's be real. Hank Pym's not a 70-year-old man in the comics.
Nope.
But they've done a really good job of kind of taking stories and combining stories. So I can totally see them going in a different direction with the Jane Foster, where she becomes Thor. Spoiler alert if you haven't read comic books.
yeah.
But where Jane Foster becomes Thor, to giving that to Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie at some point might become Thor. I don't know.
Well, I think to your point, there's no more Jane Foster in the MCU. I don't think
Yeah.
Natalie Portman's coming back.
I think they could just recast her. Though.
Well, they can recast, but the characters
Yeah.
kind of throw away
Yeah.
at this point. So they can always combine
People
her
up with it.
storyline with Valkyrie's, and also with the whole Valkyrie mythology in the Thor world. It's so rich that she can kind of like, I don't know, what do you call it? Like relive it, revamp it? I don't know.
Like
And
reboot
she
it?
can start a whole
Reboot it,
reboot
repurpose
it.
it.
Yeah, repurpose that whole thing. It's a Valkyrie that has the Thor hammer. I think that's a much richer story than with Heimdall.
I agree, actually.
Interesting.
I do. I think that's probably the best
Plus,
way
who's
to go.
gonna watch over Asgard and see everything? He's gonna be too busy, too focused on other things. He
Who,
can't do two at
Heimdall?
the sa- to do two things at the same
Asgard's
time.
gone. Yeah, Asgard's gone.
Well, no, but when he settles back in, he can see outside of Asgard.
I don't know. I think that's an element of Thor, though. If he does become Thor, that would be an element that
Make him even better?
Yeah, because Thor has all like super strength and all the god of lightning. This could be like his version of like having the thunder power, the lightning power, or whatever. I
But
think
it's
that
also
could be
another
interesting.
chance for them to get a female character.
True, but I think that it's a better opportunity to give the female like lead Marvel character to Shuri, who is Black Panther's sister, to be the next Iron Man.
Ooh.
But
Because
I mean,
think
we'll
her
have
for
to
the next
see
Iron
how
Man
she
is-
plays out.
if
We
she-
don't know.
if
I
she-
think she is going to steal the show.
I think she will
I
too.
think
If
so.
she,
It's
if they take,
already
if they take the Ironheart story that's happening now,
Yeah.
and combine that with Black Panther's sister, who already has
That's good.
gauntlets and is like a tech genius, she could be the next Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which is a cool turn because people be like, oh, she could be the next Black Panther. But what if they make her the next Iron Man? Which
Is she
would be
the woman
super
in the
cool.
white dress that does the thing with Black Panther
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
trailer?
I think she'd be great. I'd like to see her as Iron Man. The other thing is, too, a lot of people have been, not speculating, but a rumor going around is that Peter Parker possibly could be the next Iron Man.
Yeah, but I don't like it. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Unless they did the Miles Morales.
Well, that's
thing,
the
trying to
rumor
shove
that they
him
could
in
bring
there.
Miles Morales into this universe,
But it's
have
too
him be
soon.
Spider-Man, and have the other one be either Iron Spider or the new Iron Man.
Well,
It's too young.
if you guys saw, which is it's an Easter egg from the film, but when Childish Gambino was on the phone, when he's like, tied up on the car, he mentions Miles Morales.
Yeah, but he
And
also
it was
mentions...
like, it's so many throwaway things, and I'm like, okay, great, and they were like, no, we're keeping that in because that's established now, and you're like, really? I don't think that's good at all. So I don't know, but whatever, it is Sony, so who cares? Yeah, I mean that's the best way to say it. But you really think he'll be he could be Iron Man? I mean, I know the Iron Spider thing.
Listen, at this point now, with the way that Marvel's doing it,
It's a crapshoot.
anybody, I feel like anybody can be...
And we don't even need an Iron Man anymore at this point. Do you guys agree or disagree? With the plethora of characters that we have, 9 years
I don't
later.
know. I don't necessarily think
Say
there's
plethora?
a... Plethora?
Yeah, you said plethora?
No.
Plethora?
Plethora.
Shut up, Malacious.
It's okay.
Prime Minister
Plethora.
Malacious.
Plethora?
Plethora.
Let's get the
Plethora, whatever.
plethora of characters that Marvel
Stop
has.
being malicious towards me.
I definitely think...
Don't give him anything.
I definitely think that we need... What is that?
Ooh. What? Oh, I wanted that. Yeah, I
Dark Queen's
did.
up.
Never
Thanks,
gonna
buddy.
wear that.
I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah,
Next
well-
Wear it
week.
tonight at BlizzCon.
No. So I think in the plethora of characters that we have, I think
Yeah,
there's
what song is that?
definitely...
Maybe I can.
Yeah.
This
You
song.
already have a shirt that you lost in there.
Yeah, right, exactly. I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. Oh God.
I don't know if we need an Iron Man, but we definitely need... Because can anybody fill the role of Robert Downey Jr., though?
No.
Because there is a figurehead in Marvel, and we know it's Robert Downey. So
So retire the character like with Wolverine. Bam, bam, done. Do away with him for a few more movies. Nobody's really gonna.
Yeah, it's true.
I think people are gonna care.
But I was gonna say I think people would miss him a whole lot more than they would miss Logan.
They'll miss
Even
Robert
though-
Downey Jr. in the role. They're not gonna want some B player coming in and they can't live up to what he did.
That's
like
very
with
true.
Wolverine.
Well, I also think they need to maybe not... I mean, there hasn't been another Iron Man movie in quite a while. Why do they need to make another one?
No, I don't think they do.
There's no reason to make another Iron Man movie.
Yeah, I don't know why. And this is something speaking about Iron Man. How did you like Iron Man 3?
Oh, I like it. People
How'd you like
hate
Iron
that
Man?
I
I
like
loved
it.
it.
Okay,
I loved it.
I like it too. There is a big amount of people that when I say I like Iron Man 3, before I even get to say mention it, they're like, Iron Man 3 was shit. And I'm like,
You know,
who
I
are
think-
these people?
again,
I'm like, wait, Iron Man 2 was shit, guys.
I think that that's a different... Again, I think we've progressed more than we have in the last 5 years. Because if Iron Man 3 were to come out now, I think people would have loved it. Just like Thor. I think that
Do you
this
think
is
it was of the time thing, or just people don't like
people
Shane
are more...
Black's style?
I think people are more accepting of funnier superhero movies now. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy really kind of broke the mold with that.
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean,
Justice
possibly.
League... Justice League's funny.
I mean, Iron Man 3 wasn't that hilarious. The
But I
themes they were
yeah.
dealing with were pretty dark. Post-traumatic stress. And
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
but it's still it's a fun
Drinking.
buddy cop movie, and it is fun. Like,
With the kid.
yeah, even
Yeah.
where he's like, where he's pretty much like, he pretty much tells the kid like, your dad left you. He's not like,
that was the only part of levity that was in that movie, though.
Oh, no, I think there were...
I
there were
I don't know
moments,
what people's
like,
deals were.
Like the van.
I think more people.
shaved it because
I actually
of
think
you.
more people hated the fact that the Mandarin wasn't the Mandarin.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
the
that's
biggest
what it
complaint.
was.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm like, dude,
We
guys.
don't want to get duped.
Still, it was good, even though. and that's the thing.
That was my biggest complaint about the movie too, though.
Yeah, but
But if you really
still, the
think about
movie
Iron
was
Man, he
good.
doesn't have strong villains, so
No.
it's very hard
No.
to sit there. Can you name 5 Iron Man villains?
Yep.
The Mandarin?
Oh wait, whoa.
Ivan Slonko?
Slonko.
The Crimson Dynamo.
Jeff Bridges?
Exactly. That's
Just
what I'm
the
saying.
hammer.
just a hammer.
There's not like
All
a
of
ton.
AIM?
There's not a ton of like Iron Man villains because Iron Man serves better as a
Captain
supporting
America?
character in other movies.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
a member of a team, not necessarily on it. His own movies did fine, but we don't need that
The
anymore.
first one's still one of the top Marvel films.
Man,
Still is. It's
because
a
it
well-told
was- no,
story.
see, and the thing is, that isn't even like a. I don't see it on the level of a superhero film. That is
Right.
a film.
Right.
Favreau made a film, and people don't take the time to really think and appreciate how good Iron Man 1 was. Iron Man 2, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I'll apologize for it. I don't know. I'm sorry. But 3 was amazing. And you guys that are saying it was shit,
All those
take
Iron
the
Man
time to
suits
watch
came
it.
out. I was like, oh, I'm living for this scene right now.
Man,
He's
it was
jumping
good.
from suit to suit.
Yeah, I loved it. It's like, and
I think that
That
was like the
so
biggest
dope.
part of the movie though. And then I also think that's the movie that Robert Downey Jr. is like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I broke my ankle.
Yeah.
Just running on this, I'm done.
I don't know, and but I love the and how they built the connection with Rhodey again on the third one, and it was so great.
All right, so which Rhodey do you like better, Terrence Howard
Okay,
or
really?
Don Cheadle?
Why is that a question? Why? What are you going to say?
No, I'm just saying I love Rhodey.
No, which
which
one
one?
do you like better?
Oh, which one? Come on, let's be real about it. Everyone's gonna say Cheadle, but what's his
You want to
name?
be controversial?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Terrence Howard?
Terrence Howard. Yeah. Think what? I forgot his name. There you go. I don't know. All I know. Come on now, Pookie.
Stay on subject.
I don't know.
Jesus.
I'm just saying I don't like him. I don't like him. There's no reason to even choose.
I like Terrence Howard's performance as a military guy more than I liked Rhodey's, or more than I liked Cheadle's.
No, that's fair. I
Because
can
he
buy that.
seemed more strict. He kept Stark on his whereas the other one they just felt like Lethal Weapon. Whereas Terrence Howard's was like, nope, like, hey, waiting on you now, like, let's go, like
until he got him drunk on
Yeah.
the thing, and he was like, you know what I'm gonna tell you about blah blah.
I really liked
Yeah,
his.
no,
I liked the portrayal.
I
of
did
Rhodey.
like
maybe
that. I
that could
love
be a
that.
writing thing though too.
If you think Don Cheadle doesn't come back to do Rhodey, do you think Columbus Short would make a good replacement?
No, I don't. I don't think Columbus Short would make a good replacement for anything.
If Don Cheadle doesn't come back to do Rhodey, I just don't
Not
think
at
they're
all.
gonna do Rhodey.
Yeah, I think if Don Cheadle's like, I'm not coming back. But Don Cheadle was like, I'll come back for the rest of my life. That man loves this movie. He loves being Rhodey. He's like, dude, I'm a superhero. And I like that about him. Like, he's like, okay, yeah,
But
I'm
what
nerding
the hell's
out.
gonna happen to him? Why do they keep messing with? They're like, his back's broken.
His back is
now?
broken.
My
Yeah, but-
back is broken.
But they have all the all this
Nanotech.
and all
They
that.
should bring
They're
a- build
gonna
him a
build him.
nano
right-
spine.
I think so. Well, I mean, at the end, he was walking on the, like kind of going.
Well, I
through. He'll be
mean,
fine.
he's gonna be in Infinity War, and
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
assume that he's
Tony
gonna be
Stank.
suiting up again.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I think that
Tony Stank.
I think that
I said that once.
God. I should just do this show by myself. I think that I'm trying to stay on top of you guys are sitting
That
here making
is
jokes.
Tony Stank was in the movie.
Okay, why don't we just talk about what you guys want to talk about?
I want to talk about whatever you're talking
No.
about.
I'm done. I'm shutting down.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, robot lost battery.
I just laughed because she said it. That's all. It was funny.
Stop being an old
God.
grandpa. You're on a show talking about Marvel superheroes.
I'm trying to stay on the show where people are tuning in to watch it, not like your fucking horror show. So, here's the deal.
God.
Please.
I think that that Cheadle's going to control his War Machine armor via the way that Stark was controlling it, where he's not in the suit.
I mean, he is indeed a flight,
A pilot. He's going to pilot
he's
the War Machine armor.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. I would get that, but when you think about it, being Iron Man isn't really so much of a tactical thing. He's not really like, oh, we really need him to fight. No, I mean,
Well, you kind of
anyone
do,
else
or else
can.
why would you do it?
No, I'm like anyone else can. He's really, when you think about it, does Iron Man really contribute that much? Like, can someone else just pilot his suit and
No,
really
well,
take care of
he
the world?
also invents stuff.
Yeah,
He's
but
an
I mean,
inventor.
but think about it. He can do the inventions and still have someone else pilot the suit. What does Iron Man really do for the team besides inventing and bankrolling?
He brings James
and-
Spader onto the MCU.
I just asked the question. I don't know.
I don't know. What?
Okay, fine. I don't know. I just asked that question. What are you guys doing? Oh my God! Can you guys see it? The chat room. They're going at each other in the chat room, guys. For those that are watching that won't see what's happening in the chat later, they're going at each other in the chat room.
Well, people can see it. It doesn't matter.
Well,
I'm
no,
not-
I mean like later when they watch it without the live. I don't know.
All right, so go ahead. What else are we talking about?
No, I just asked a question about that. Like, well, is there really a benefit to having Tony Stark? If we end up leaving and missing him.
At this point, we could probably let him go.
I'm just wondering.
Go on a long vacation with
Your
Pepper,
opinion.
go get married.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so it would be a great loss when he does leave?
Yes.
Okay, and why is... Well, I mean, even though he may leave the Avengers, he's still going to bankroll.
What?
I would think so. He's still going to, pay up for everything. He's just not going to...
He's paying them now.
Huh? He's bankrolling everything right now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
so he'll
I thought you meant, like,
he'll still
putting them on
bankroll.
a
It's just he's not
salary.
going to be there or do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, she did something. I'm talking to you.
Oh, we don't need to entertain childishness. Yes, Daniel.
I don't know. I just feel that...
Of course he's going to continue paying for the operations.
Yeah, well, yeah, and everything like that. It's just now he's gonna run it just like how it is in the comic, where it's like he ran Sword for a little bit, where now he's in charge of just the entity that was Shield and is now something else, and he'll take care of the day to day while he sends the Avengers out to go ahead and do everything else. Now I know that on Spider-Man they mentioned something about Cap's a new prototype for Cap's shield. Anything that happened in Spider-Man, is that something that you think does carry over later into Marvel? Or no?
I don't know.
Oh my God! Really?
This is how it is
MCU?
doing this show. Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes,
in
it
the
is.
MCU, no, I think of course it's going to carry because it's canon.
Okay, so then with that, it's kind of at a loss. Last time we saw Cap, Cap was pretty much still like a fugitive.
But they kind of made up. Kind of. We don't know how their interaction's going to be, but it was kind of like, oh, yeah, I miss you, old buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like I'll look the other way while you're doing whatever you're doing.
Somebody didn't have to apologize. Like, come on. Dude
Really?
killed his parents. Like, he had a right to be mad about it.
Well, here's a good question then. Who was right?
Huh?
Who was right? Was it Cap or was it?
I don't know.
Who
Isn't
was
that the
right?
whole thing?
Yeah,
Like,
so I'm
both
just
of them
asking.
were both
It's
wrong,
a year
you're both
old.
right.
It's a year old argument, but it's like, well, if you had to pick, who was right?
About that whole situation or about the Sokovia Records?
Sokovia Accords, actually.
Oh, registering?
that whole situation, ooh,
no,
that's
I don't
different.
like the idea of registering any real foreign superhero.
Really?
Once you start registering people, like, let's ask Magneto what happens when that happens.
God. Magneto was right? Joe will tell you Cyclops is right.
Cyclops was
Of
right.
course,
See?
of course, he would
Cyclops is
side
right.
with Cyclops.
Well, Wolverine wasn't right in that argument.
Oh, no, not at all. What else is happening in the MCU right now?
Well, we talked about it. We just talked about all the things that were happening for the last hour.
Yeah, right?
So there's a lot, obviously.
Right.
Carlos wants to talk about Inhumans.
Sorry,
but we
Carlos.
have
Guess
not
what? We don't
seen
pander
it.
to you. We don't pander to you. We're not going to talk about the Inhumans.
Yeah, no one watched it.
We
We're not
didn't
really-
see it yet.
no.
We can get on a THS hashtaggers chat about it once I see it, and then or
Definitely.
you can spoil it for us to make up for spoiling Thor for you.
Nobody's talking about the Inhumans. Because nobody watches the Inhumans. It's at an
well,
all-time
Carlos
low.
does. And
Carlos,
is
there's
a-
6 people that watch it. You are one of the 6. And you're looking at 3 of the other ones right here. So
Yeah, pretty much. And we're not even watching it anymore.
it's
I
not
was
being
just
honest.
busy last night.
the greatest show in the world.
I just not
Maybe the
watching it.
later episodes got better. I mean, it was better last time we saw
Well, that
it.
last time we saw it, yeah, it was. But
But who's going to stick around to see how it really is going to end? Because you got to get
I
through a lot
mean,
of
at
garbage.
this point, if you saw the shit fest that was the first few episodes, come
Ooh.
on.
boy.
Take it to the end.
Oh, I'm so sorry, ABC. I don't know what you guys did. I don't.
IMAX is trying to distance themselves from it. Like, oh, we're going to really look at deals like this next time.
They should have just released it all as a DVD or something. And just put out the first episode.
That would've
Nobody
been-
would've
yeah,
bought
like,
it, though.
No.
Yeah.
Make it a downloadable thing.
With the movie ticket purchase of Thor.
Oh, that would have been smart.
No, that would have been, no.
No,
They
that's
would've
a
lost
huge
so
one.
much
Yeah, they
money.
lost so much. But they probably already lost so much
Here
money.
goes Thor, now download this.
So where does Thor rank for the MCU movies?
Oh, I was going to type that up, too, because I don't know. And out of all of
A
them?
lot of people are saying it's in their top 3.
No, I wouldn't put it top 3. I might put it top 5.
Top 5. So then what's...
Iron Man is still number
Carlos in the chat, man. No wonder why Jezzer's always on you, man. I get it now.
What is he saying now?
Nothing.
he wants to spoil the episode.
If you spoil the episode, I'll just spoil Infinity War. How about that? We'll do a
What are your, for in MCU, what are your top?
Winter
3.
Soldier, Ragnarok, and Guardians.
Oh, dang. Nice.
I'm like typing.
Not in any
2?
particular order.
Or 1 or 2?
What?
Guardians Volume 1 or 2, or are you putting Guardians
Guardians 2 wasn't very good.
No?
It wasn't as good.
It didn't advance anything.
It was either the
didn't.
same or just below the first one.
I think 2 was just more like, hey, they're wild and crazy, enjoy their antics. And that's what was happening. So they didn't really, like you said, they didn't advance it, and there wasn't a story to really be told. It was just kind of like filler.
So what's on your list?
For me, honestly, Iron Man 1 is somewhere, I don't know about a particular order, but Iron Man 1 is in my top 3. Thor Ragnarok is now in my top 3. And
no.
Oh, jeez. And another movie that's in my top 3. Damn, dude, I don't want to say it.
I got it
You
now.
did it, like Guardians.
Iron Man, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Thor 3, and Ant-Man.
I don't think Civil War makes my list.
Wow.
Why not?
That's good.
And Ant-Man, I don't think Ant-Man's very good either.
What?
Oh yeah, he doesn't like. Yeah, he doesn't.
Ant-Man is the same movie as every Marvel movie. It's like the stereotypical Marvel movie.
It was like a cool heist film.
It was a.
It had
It's like
one of
Ocean's 11.
It had one of the coolest Scientologists ever, Michael Pena, and I say go for it.
He stole the show.
No,
you
really,
said he was going to be in Infinity War?
He is.
But even with Michael Pena, he wasn't a saving grace for the film for you. So like, why? Okay, it was just by the numbers for you. It was just like, oh, paint by the numbers.
No, it just wasn't. It just don't. I think that they tried to make Edgar Wright's movie, and they didn't make an Edgar Wright movie. They just made it reminds me very much of Dark World, where it's like it didn't even have a director.
Right? Oh, both of us were like, oh.
I mean, but you like movies that I like. I didn't like Edward Norton's Hulk.
Oh yeah,
Thought it was boring.
I enjoyed it,
and it's super cheesy.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But at that time, it was what they were looking at when they were like, we were trying to revamp the comic film.
But see, at the time, if you have to preface something with "at the time," because Iron Man came out at the time, right before that, and it's still a good movie. If you watch the Incredible Hulk movie now, it's not a great movie.
Well, that was just at the time was your argument for how Iron Man 3, if it came out now, it would be. That's an at the time argument.
Sure, but that's a relevant argument. This movie coming out then and now still not a great movie.
Aw, true. All right, fine. Well, not for many. I still liked it.
I wouldn't. The only reason I wouldn't put Civil War. The only reason I wouldn't put Civil War on there though was because as a standalone movie, it does not work. You need to watch 3 other movies in order to get that.
I'll buy that because the only shining point was the airport scene.
Dude, yeah, that was like everyone was
kind of
blanking
on what happened.
Like I said, I took my dad to see that movie, and I was like, "Did you like it?" Because I really liked it, and I was like, "Did you like it?" He was like, "It was okay," and I was like, "Well, what did you not like?" He's like, "I didn't understand what was going on."
That's the biggest complaint about that
Who's
movie.
this purple guy that's flying and it shoots down this other guy? I don't understand.
It's only a movie that pays off to people who have been watching the entire slate.
Yeah,
just
that's fine, but I think.
Moved.
But see, that just shows you. It just shows you the difference of like the way films are now.
That's true.
Like,
I mean,
they're
everything's
serialized.
franchised. Yeah.
Well, yeah, everything. Yeah, it's franchised, it's serialized. It's just, hey, we need you. But then again, you have to think films as they get bigger and better. They're like, we need something to do so that the fans are like, oh, great, I've invested time. So that's why we're doing the whole franchise thing. Without that, fans don't feel like there's a big enough payoff.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No.
I mean, that's one way to look at it.
I mean, well, fanboys, fangirls, which now apparently we are breeding.
Let me ask you something then. Because Marvel wasn't the ones that started this, by the way.
No.
So if
Batman.
Harry Potter, if you watch
Really?
the last Harry Potter
Batman.
movie, are you going to understand what happens?
Oh, no, not
Because
at
I
all.
saw only the last Harry
Not
Potter
at
movie.
all.
Batmans they're standalones for the most part.
Yeah, like Batmans are standalones. Like you can watch any one of the
that's
Batman
true.
movies and understand it.
Well, Nolan's?
Yeah, you can watch Dark Knight and
That's
not watch
true.
Batman
Yeah,
Begins.
because it was
and
like,
it's still a
it was
cohesive
years
movie.
after. Every one of them was like years after.
Definitely Tim
That's true.
Burton's.
Yeah, you can watch any one of
true.
those, any Batman movie, and still kind of pick up what happened. Like you don't need
Yeah,
to
you
have
don't need to. Yeah.
the backstory.
Well, I guess Pirates first. Cause did that come before Harry Potter?
No, Harry Potter came before
first?
Pirates.
Okay, yeah.
Harry Potter is like one of the first movies where you kind of got to watch.
Back to the Future. There you go.
No, not really.
No, really.
That's
I
like
mean,
a
Back to the
trilogy,
Future, you
wasn't
had
it?
to. Yeah, you had to.
Well, we're talking
I
about
guess Star Wars.
films that
if
are
you're-
spanning years and years and years.
If you because the first Star Wars movie I saw was Episode 2, or not
That
Episode
is-
2. I'm sorry, Episode
that's true.
Episode 5.
If you
was the
don't
first
watch
one I saw.
episode 1 and you watch any other movies first, you're like fucked.
Well, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, well, what are you doing? You should not be.
I
here.
watched the third one first, I think.
Star Wars.
Machete Order.
Episode 3.
Well, the first one I watched was episode 5.
Wait a
when I was
minute.
a
Is
kid.
it 4, 5, 6 in the beginning? Mark Hamill's? Okay,
Yeah.
the first one I saw was episode 6.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I didn't watch the Anakin version.
So it's harder. Star Wars is it definitely was long form storytelling.
But technically, that was still a trilogy because
Was
the second
trilogy.
half came 20 years later.
Yeah.
Or 15 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't planned.
It wasn't
until,
planned. Yeah.
He was like, I
So
need
it
a
was
cash
planned
grab.
trilogy. But yeah, I think you have a point that Harry Potter started that, and movies are just they release one movie and they're already thinking about the sequel without
Yeah.
the first movie coming out.
Yeah, they're like, how can we make more money?
Yeah.
It's a big cash grab without the love.
And that's why Divergent is dealing with this problem now that they ended on part 1 of the final book, but part 2 is not coming out.
At all?
Or it's coming out on TV. It's still all up
Oh
in the air.
my God! Really?
And that came out last year.
Did
So
it
now
not
we're-
make money?
It did not make
So
any money.
pretty
That's why I
much
went to TV.
Lionsgate is looking for their next franchise because Hunger Games is done.
Hunger Games
Oh, yeah,
is done.
yeah.
Power Rangers is not that.
And they feel dumb for splitting that book into 2 movies. They're like, we could have just been done with this.
Dang.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That
really-
sucks.
that really is bad.
That's when you know you're making bad decisions as a
Yep.
studio. Now, do you think that if Justice League is successful, do you think Marvel has anything to worry about?
No. Because they have years and years
Here's
of
the thing:
success.
if Infinity War doesn't live up to expectation, then I think they have a little something to worry
That's-
about.
yeah.
Or if Avengers 4 doesn't live up to expectation, they're gonna
No,
No,
have
I
to
think
worry
you're
about
right with the Avengers Infinity War. Because
feel
they
like-
already
yeah.
had a snafu with Age of Ultron. Civil War was okay, but like you said, the biggest issue was you had to follow the other 10 movies before it.
But
to
the
really
thing is,
get
it's a given. Like, you're not going to
it. You're not going to what?
follow.
A lot of people. Who
Well, she
went to
hasn't
see
seen
it.
she hasn't seen Incredible Hulk, so I guess like
Well, that's not even in there.
it's in the.
Who's
They don't
the
even
big
care or
giant
worry
green guy
about it.
that gets angry all the time?
Oh, geez, that guy. I don't want to break it down for you. I don't know.
What movie
I don't
did he
know.
come-
He was a friend from work. That's what I do
I'm
know.
sure that there are people out there that don't follow everything. Like, there's certain people that don't watch Shield.
Yeah,
There's a
but-
lot of people that don't watch
totally don't watch
Inhumans.
Shield.
those portions of like I feel almost like Marvel's extended universe when it comes to television. But for the films, Civil War, I don't know if there was a person that was like, okay, I'm gonna go run watch Civil War, and I didn't watch anything else.
My dad, I told you.
Oh, that's right.
literally
that's
just told you
right.
that.
Oh, dang, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
if you want to go
But
to a friend or
If
try
you
to
if you're
dates,
taking a date that's just not into the Marvel
she
stuff.
had-
why would you take a day to go see a Marvel?
because you're
film?
trying to be selfish, or maybe she's like, hey, that looks cool. Yeah, there's Chris Evans.
Because
sure.
you have to understand
Cat
the
butt.
movie's
True,
not
that's
promoted
true.
as like a. It's promoted under the guise of a registration act, right? Mm-hmm. That's a part of the movie, but it's not the main
Yeah,
driving.
and then the
Yeah.
question is, you're gonna ask, well, why is there a registration act? Sokovia.
That was another
What's
marketing
that?
diversion.
Yeah, that's true.
And then there's just so much. Then you got to figure out who the Winter Soldier is.
It wasn't Civil War.
It wasn't.
That was the threesome fight between Bucky and Iron Man and Captain America.
It's true.
That scene was dope, though.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that fight scene was great.
And then I don't know. If Civil War was good, but it didn't. To me, it didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah. Plus, Infinity War's got to cost a lot of money. Like they
So-
have-
That's
Well, they're
the
saying that
thing,
between the
and
two
with-
movies, Infinity War and Avengers 4, $1 billion.
Whew. Wow, that's
Is
too much.
Is that the record? Like the
money.
most expensive?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like-
there's $500
Wait,
$500 million for each movie. I guess.
It might be Avatar because they're shooting 3
Oh,
movies,
that's true.
and I think that's a $2 billion.
Oh,
It's a lot.
wow, man.
I mean, James
Wow.
Cameron.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know, but I'm excited for it, and I did have that question. Will they worry about anything if Justice League does good? Truth of the matter is, I don't think Marvel has anything to worry about. I love Justice League,
Say
but
that now.
I don't feel, because I think that they're working well. They're ramping up to what they should be. If Thor is any kind of indication of it, I think that when we hit the Infinity War, it's gonna be something amazing. Because Black Panther, I think, is already good. I haven't even seen it yet, and I'm already like, yes. So far, but we all know that, yes, there's going to be a moment where the bubble bursts.
Well, I
From
don't ever think that's going to be the case.
No, not like I'm talking about the success bubble for Marvel. Like one day there will be one film where it's like,
We've already had
shoot.
that.
Well, yeah,
What?
but Thor.
Well, Ant-Man was the first movie in a long time, and Doctor Strange were the first two movies, I believe, not to reach $1 billion.
I mean,
box
Doctor
office.
But
Strange
is that-
is forgettable.
But meeting
That's
but-
another one. Doctor
but
Strange.
meeting-
I don't think it was that
But
great.
meeting $1 billion, does that really constitute their success?
No,
If-
but
didn't
I mean,
they-
they've already
they-
had snafus like
Yes.
Dark World. Nope,
If a-
people
if-
didn't like Dark. Yeah, and
if
yes,
a film
Dark
studio
World
does
is-
not
yeah.
make $1 billion, they consider that a failure.
yes,
Oh,
and,
wow,
and,
okay.
and with Marvel, yeah.
Okay, so then, but Dark, how?
ridiculous.
So that's a good question. Then, how was Marvel able to brush off like the being tainted from Dark World? How were they able to
That
do
was
that?
a nothing movie.
Yeah,
that was
like,
that was a
they
tax
couldn't afford
write-off
that.
movie.
Literally, like it showed up and they were just like,
Yeah.
"So, you guys ready for Avengers?" Like they just.
I mean,
like,
if
that was
Iron
it.
Man 3, then Dark World, then maybe Doctor Strange came out,
That
one
would've
after
seen a
the other,
huge
That
change.
would've changed Marvel?
That's it, yeah.
But I
Okay.
think, see,
they
DC,
can pad themselves.
DC's problem is because they try to distance them too far from what Marvel was doing. And when you get, we're going to take these characters serious and grounded. And it's like, well, that was obviously the wrong way. Even Henry Cavill said just recently that was the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
That's
That
your
makes sense.
universe.
No, I mean I understand.
The
He said
universe that you do a show on.
that- Then again, you have to remember he said that. Oh, really? Oh,
Is he on
really?
a DC show? What's he doing
There's still
here?
a DC show?
What the hell?
There's still
Alright,
a
guys.
Just
DC
because
show?
you're best
Alright.
friends forever. We don't need any crossovers here.
Oh, really? All right, just wait. I'm just telling you guys.
Wait for
It's-
what?
I think Justice League is
That
going to
sounds
be
like a
good.
threat.
I just think Justice League.
Nobody's
is gonna be
saying
good.
it's
But
going to
anyway.
be bad, but
But anyway.
Just wait
It
for
could
that
be
next
weary.
season of Arrow to pick up, huh? Like that.
Hey, no, all right. Look, Arrow is crap. I know that. You know that. Everyone knows that. All right. Gotham is something you can kind of watch.
don't.
You can kind of
shitting
watch.
on Gotham.
I just said something you kind of watch. But we're talking about Marvel right now. And with Marvel being the thing, if Infinity War doesn't do well, will that...
It's going to do well.
No, I'm just saying, no. We understand it has to do well, and I think it's going to do well. If it didn't do well, would that be like, holy shit, like batting down the hatches for Marvel?
It's not going to be that extreme, but they will,
I say this, if
take a
Infinity
closer
War
look at things.
Yeah, right?
isn't good and people don't turn out for Avengers 4, that's a problem.
Oh. But, I mean...
But
we
I
all
don't think
know-
that's gonna happen.
Exactly,
No,
like I
because it's
said.
got to tie into the previous film. Why wouldn't people come back?
Yeah.
Because I think that if people are, like, for example,
They
if they
have
made
a
a
bad taste in their
Batman
mouth.
v Superman 2, who the fuck's going to watch it?
Nobody's
Yeah.
watching that.
Yeah.
But that was the complaint about Justice League, because it's essentially that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do that, you have to... It's going to dictate what the next film's going to do profit-wise. If... I don't know, I just think that that's the way it is. But, I mean, realistically, I don't think that Marvel's going to fail.
Okay, cool.
They're too big to fail.
I agree.
They will eventually.
So, do you feel or do you think right now Ragnarok is a really great film, especially in Marvel, in MCU? Do you think when Black Panther comes out,
Josh
it's gonna be much
Goldman,
better?
I see that you're watching. Get back to work and start editing. Just
Do
kidding.
you think that it's going to? Do you think it's going to be better than Ragnarok?
Wait, before you answer that, Josh, thanks a lot for not hitting the record button.
Oh, for the Tessa Thompson.
Oh,
I have the audio.
Yeah,
though.
well, hey, we got something. We
Okay,
got something.
sorry. Resume.
Yo, there you go. So, do you guys think that Black Panther will be much better than Ragnarok?
I think you're comparing like two completely
Yeah.
different.
I know,
so
and
it's two
that's the
different
fun. And that's the
styles.
fun thing of doing it. I want to know, like, just okay, from just a financial standpoint.
I think so because it's a new world,
Yeah.
and people have been waiting for Black Panther for forever.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it took this long to get Black Panther made. Actually, I for sure would have
You
thought.
shouldn't be that
I
surprised.
for sure
Wow.
would have thought we would have got Black Panther before like Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man for sure.
Actually, you know what?
or even Doctor Strange. But
it is kind of it does kind of hurt to know that they were like, hey, Talking Raccoon, yeah, what Black Panther? Talking Raccoon we're going for right now. Like
Well,
you're like,
Black Panther
goddamn.
was the same thing when they announced Chadwick as Black Panther, and in a couple years,
but realistically
3 years
though,
passed,
that's
and then
true.
Black
realistically
Panther
though,
three.
I think that it would have been a mistake putting him out so early because who would you have gotten to play that role then?
When about 10 years ago?
If it was like right on the slate with Robert Downey and those guys.
10 years ago, you could have got Idris. If it was 20 years
But
ago,
Idris
you could have got
wasn't a name
Wesley.
then.
Always Idris.
Chadwick's not that much of a mainstream name.
But Chadwick
either.
at the
No, he
time
wasn't
had,
a name. He
had
was in Rock and
been
Roll.
nominated for an Oscar. And
10 years ago?
No, Chadwick now. Or Chadwick when he got cast. He did the Jackie Robinson movie.
Yeah.
He did what was the other one that he did? The James Brown movie.
Oh shoot, he did.
Yeah.
He was already a
that's
like
good.
big rising
But
star.
so was Idris Elba.
But
He
he
was in
wasn't.
that Beyonce movie. Luther
He
was,
in Rock-
out 10
he-
years ago.
He was in Rock and Roller.
Sure, Luther was out 10 years ago.
He was in
was it
Rock
one?
and Roller, yes. Guy Ritchie.
But I mean,
But nobody.
he was
nobody,
in The
yeah,
Wire.
No one-
He was a big part of The
Oh,
Wire,
yeah,
so
that's
he
true.
was a name.
I don't think he was as he obviously wasn't nearly as big as he
But
is now.
honestly, they don't get people that are
Now.
marquee
That's now, though.
household names.
That's now, though.
Chris Evans wasn't that big.
Chris
when he
Evans was
casted
a
as
decent
Captain
sized
America.
name.
No. He can't
People
bring-
knew who
no.
Chris Evans was.
Robert Downey Jr. coming off of a
I agree
Rat.
with Robert Downey
Cheap.
Jr. I agree with that. But then
Benedict's
Chris
not that
Hemsworth
popular in the US.
wasn't a name.
Yeah,
I'll agree
Chris
with that.
Hemsworth. Mm-hmm.
Benedict
but the
was
thing
a
is-
name. I feel like
but the thing
In
is-
the UK.
But
No,
the thing
here.
is, let's be
Yeah.
honest. Let's be honest. Still, nonetheless, and I hate to have to bring it up, but when it comes to a black actor, you do want a name that is literally a household name. Without that, trying to chance it and put a vehicle out there for it internationally, what would it have done?
Internationally, Chadwick isn't known.
Well,
I love Chadwick.
but-
I love his work.
No,
but
but-
he is
but the
not.
black-
He's not better known as
But
Idris
as Idris-
Elba.
That's very true. Now, that's very true. But then, would Idris have been?
I don't
the
know.
right choice?
I think those
I
are
don't think
different
so. I don't think
arguments,
then.
though, because if you really think about it, if we're going to say international numbers make just as much as just the United States alone.
Right.
So
But black actors
we're
are
marketing
not
towards
internationally
but we're marketing towards
popular.
this
Unless you're Will
audience, though.
Not
yeah,
even Will
yeah.
Smith.
And
Not
not
that
even
much.
anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
We're marketing towards pretty much our audience. Like we're not
Okay.
going to hire. I mean, I don't say weeds. but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's 9 times out of 10 where you're not going to pluck somebody from BBC and put them in a mainstream thing. Because not regardless of Idris Elba, but like Benedict Cumberbatch was a known name and a known commodity, especially in the geek world.
Out for what?
Sherlock.
Sherlock's not that big in the
Sherlock
geek world.
is just as big as Luther was. You kidding me?
in the UK.
Here.
But we're talking about US.
I think
Guys,
more.
that comic
let
right
us
back
know.
there?
What?
Can you grab me that comic back there?
They just made that after it got popular in the last couple years.
It's right in front.
Sherlock
yeah.
has been
It's just
popular for a while
That's the
now.
thing, though. It's like there are copies upon copies.
Sherlock Holmes has been around for 60 years.
No, but the show
Very
Sherlock. This is the reason why there's even Sherlock is the reason why there's that dumb show on CBS that nobody watches. Was it?
What? No, people watch that. The Lucy Liu one?
Sure.
Yeah.
And Johnny
Actually,
Lawrence?
But you have
funny
to-
enough, they
you
watch it for
realize-
Lucy Liu.
But you
They don't
realize
want
that
it, yeah,
the reason
I
why
was
that
like-
was even made was because of Sherlock.
Yeah, they wanted an American version, so they went with that.
I don't know. I
That's
don't
true.
think Benedict was as hot
I
in the U.S. households as
I
you
think he was.
Okay.
He was he's been a known
can
commodity
get it.
for a while now.
And look, did that pay off?
Doctor Strange.
When I was thinking about all the movies just now to rank, I forgot about Doctor Strange.
A lot of
I was
people
like,
do. No,
who the heck
no, I mean,
Well said
listen,
that.
that's
Yeah,
the same
true.
thing. I feel the same way about Ant-Man, though. To me, it's completely same thing with the Incredible Hulk. It's completely a forgettable film.
So hurts.
Dark
still
World's
hurts,
another
still
one. I keep forgetting that.
Dark,
This is,
You can-
everyone
that
forgets
is-
that movie. I think we should just
Yeah.
actually just annex it from our minds. It
It's-
doesn't exist
It's
anymore.
okay.
It's gone.
You're
It's
okay for
gone.
forgetting about that film.
Yeah, exactly.
I think though,
Hemsworth is like, I forgot.
I think Chadwick is perfect for this role, though.
Now, yes.
See, things happen for a reason.
Then,
That's
unfortunately,
Oh, yeah, for
it took
sure.
so
Exactly.
long.
That's why it took so long. We
But
had to
that's
try,
like
take
saying
time to
if,
find
if
the right one.
honestly another guy had they cast this movie right now, the 2nd,
Mm-hmm.
I think they would have chosen Michael B. Jordan though.
Yeah, they would have actually. Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't know. Because Ryan Coogler has worked with Michael B. Jordan so much in the last 2 films.
So you
in the
think he was
last few
probably
years.
like, yeah, I'd probably.
I think
I
that
mean, he could've
Chadwick
just-
was more of a mandate from Marvel because you got to think they cast him before they even cast
that's
a
true.
director
Yeah,
for
that's
Black
true.
That is
Panther.
true.
That's true.
I really thought Michael B. Jordan was going to be the first.
yeah,
I did too, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a contender, but he was busy with the other films. he was
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four,
Four.
especially, and I do also think that the reason why people are going to love this movie is because it's not necessarily Michael B. Jordan's not the villain. He even describes his character as he's like, I'm not the villain in this. Like,
In Junkets, he's actually.
well, he's even saying that like this is more of the Magneto Xavier relationship, and I think by the end of people walking out of Black Panther, a lot of people are going to agree with his point of view because he's trying to bring Wakanda into a bigger world, whereas T'Challa's not. He's trying to keep it.
Old world. He
Yeah.
wants to keep it right here.
So it's going to be very
where it
interesting.
is.
I'm really excited for that movie though. It looks really good and surprisingly a lot more colorful than one would think.
Yeah, yeah.
Lion King scene.
But now, do you think the whole thing with Marvel going colorful? Do you think that all started due to Guardians?
That was.
I mean,
asking.
I maybe.
I'm just asking because I see like Guardians that heavy use of color, and
Yeah.
then by Volume 2, it was like, look, we're going full blown.
I don't know.
like,
I
color.
think it really
And
all
then
depends on
everybody
the
else
movie
was
though.
doing
It just because like
Because the Thor is
Black
Rainbow
Widow's
Bridge.
not going to be that if that gets
No,
made. You know what I
no.
mean? Like it just depends
Going
on
to
the
be in
tone.
Russia.
Yeah.
It just like that one's going to look more like Winter Soldier, but like if I guess it all really just
It
depends
just
on the
depends on the
character.
tone of the film.
Yeah.
Like if you
'Cause
do
there
a
are
Nova
scenes-
movie, yeah, it's going to be colorful.
Yeah, true. Because there are scenes in Black Panther where it's like, this is very John Wick too.
I don't think
Like,
Black
you
Panther's
know.
going to be as colorful as you think.
No?
From everything that I've seen, because I saw...
feel like it's like low-tone, dark neon colors. Like that whole scene where they're in is it
looks like
Japan or
Tokyo,
something? Or Tokyo?
yeah.
And it's like that low light...
they are in Tokyo.
Like neon, yeah. That low light neon thing where it was like, damn, this is John Wick 2. Like, it's
I
that
think,
whole thing
I
where
think
it's like...
because there's the scene that I saw when I did the Marvel Open House. There was a scene where... that's what it was called, the Marvel Open House.
So funny.
They showed us a bunch of Black Panther stuff. And like that, the first thing that came to my mind was like, dude, Wakanda looks like really, really colorful. Like I didn't expect it to look like that.
Well, that makes sense. I would see Wakanda being colorful.
And they describe it, and also like so the way that the suits are made is like they can just like, because I think there's a scene where they're in the casino, and T'Challa's tuxedo becomes the Black Panther suit. It's pretty cool.
Dude.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
I love how he is far more advanced than Tony. Like,
right, but that's exactly why I think that his sister is going to become Iron Man.
Man.
Eventually. Anyway, we've been going on for a long time.
Oh boy, we have.
That's okay. We have lots of things to talk
Sorry,
about.
yeah, I mean, it was entertaining.
I know the DC show, you're used to ending around the 35-40 minute mark.
There's not enough to talk about, man.
But,
yeah. There's not enough to talk about right now for DC. Sorry, guys. But hey,
and you know what? You know what holds your guys' show back?
What?
Is that you can't connect it to the cinematic universe because it's not.
No, it's not connected. And that's the thing that's like, oh, great. No, it's not connected. It's like literally that should be DC's tagline. DC. What's connection? Like that should be it.
Do you think that there will ever be a time where DC makes like an Infinite Crisis where all of it's together?
That would be interesting because the alternate
right.
worlds and everything.
Because they do have different worlds.
That's something that they could do, but I think the problem is you have CW, which used to be completely owned by Warner Brothers, isn't anymore. So now it's like CW doing its thing, Warner Brothers is doing its thing, and then after that, every once in a while, DC's like, oh, we got an idea, but we're not going to go to CW. We're going to go to the Warner Brothers, and so it's just things are never going to connect.
all right.
So sorry.
All right. And I think that just about does it.
Yeah.
So we can go to BlizzCon.
We're going to go this early?
No, I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
We are going to BlizzCon, so if you are in the Southern California area and you want to go party with us, you don't need a pass. Just meet us at the hotel lobby.
Look for a guy with a hat and
I'm going to be wearing this exactly,
Oh, there you go.
actually.
Wearing that.
So,
I'll probably
are you going to change?
He's doing autographs now. Why do I need to change? Don't I look like a BlizzCon geek?
Yeah, I'm just changing now.
I'll wear that shirt.
You wear this shirt. All right, so that's going to do it for us for all things Marvel. And if you're a Marvel fan, use the hashtag Infinity War, the greater sign, Infinity Watch. Use that hashtag. But that's going to do it for us here at that hashtag shows
Thanks
Infinity
for guest starring
Watch.
On the most superior superhero after show.
It is the most superior superhero after show. It is.
Maybe we'll come on your show, liven it up a little bit.
Maybe get you some more views. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here. Daniel, where can people find you?
Knock everything over and run off. I just cry.
You really got to promote it. This is the part where you really got to promote it. You really get people.
Oh, yeah, really? Well, you can. What? Oh, yeah, right? That's what I should do.
What?
I should just be like, oh, well, where can you find me? Well, I'll tell you where you can find me. Like that. Fuck you. Fuck you, Joe. All right, you can find me at Battlestar Galactica. You can also find me on the Watchtower, which is our DC after show. You'll find me here every once in a while because I have to make sure that they're not shitting on my after show too much.
No,
so
your show's doing that for you.
Shut up. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show.
God.
I think your after show might be more watching the actual CW show.
I think so, actually. That's not a joke. That's very true. But yeah, so, well, that's where you can find me. What about you, little nigga?
You can find me here Saturdays for the Infinity Watch and hashtag After Dark, which, yes, tonight is canceled. Because
even though Jezer did say he wanted to come in and do it.
Well, you didn't respond to that, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't want to do that show.
No.
I want
We're
the
good.
week off.
This pretty much was like After Dark.
We had last week off.
No, we did not have it off.
We were seeing the Black Eyed Peas.
Taking care of Jezer is not a week off.
No,
It's true.
it wasn't. But
It's
I did get
true.
to see the Black Eyed Peas.
Yes.
And Flavor
Because
Flav.
everyone wants to see the Black Eyed Peas.
Did you watch them? No, you weren't there, were you?
Nah,
So-
Well, yeah, I think you got a
Trust me, I
ticket to the
didn't.
Morongo Casino.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for us here at that hashtag show. You can find me on
Weren't there somebody's birthday
at
party
that
last-
hashtag Joe on all social media and here on Infinity Watch pretty much all Saturdays. But
Yeah.
that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Love it.
Da-na-na-na.